So, looked everywhere online, these old 95 Wolverines. You guys know the years better than me. It's 95 up to like '01. Trying to change the rear brake rotor. It's warped, dragging, etc. Sitting here staring at it. I try to bust the actual rotor off from the back. You can't access it. Pretty idiot proof. So I sit here and stared at it. You have to bust this castle nut off. There's no other way around it. So all four tires have to be on the ground with the Wolverine because they're all-wheel drive. And here's a 15/16. Fits right in the end of that. And I had to stand on it and hop. Then you're going to go ahead and pull your wheel hub assembly off. Then the brake rotor comes off. Yours may look different. This was garage kept its whole life. Barely any use. It's impeccable condition. But I think he drove it a lot with a park brake engaged, so it sat there and warped the rotor. Now that it's actually out getting some mud on its fenders, I can hear it's dragging, it's clicking. So I bought me a rip saw brake rotor. Put the link down in the description. But I just never seen anything online about how to change these. Forums, nothing else. How to change them. And yeah, it's a beer, because this thing's pissing me off. You have to vise it down. If you ain't got a vise, you got to have a C-clamp. If you ain't have a C-clamp, you better find some way to keep that son of a bitch down, because you need breaker bars. It's got blue Loctite. They don't want it to come off. I'll show you how it assembles back on. I guess I should have got a video before I ripped it off, but I was just in the moment of getting this son of a bitch done on my day after work. So came with brake pads. It was like 46 bucks. We're going to see if it helps anymore. Vent all that gas out and not ride the parking brake on with it. Stay tuned, guys. So you're going to need a 6mm Allen, and don't use these. They round off, as you can see. Brand fucking new. Couldn't stand up to it. And yeah, I needed that big of a breaker bar. And I was wrenching on it, and it snaps with some force. So maybe PB Blaster, I don't know. But this thing goes through some heat cycles, and she's on there, but she's coming off great now. I can actually use the T-handle to get her off with. So she's coming loose, but it ain't easy. So here's the rip saw. It does look bigger, but it's actually not. I did with a breaker bar and real Allen wrenches, 6mm, with said breaker bar. Bust this off. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. It's directional. And yeah, I don't want it to come off, and I'm not going to ride the park brake, so I'm going to put some more blue Loctite on it. And I'm going to clamp it down using a hot mitt, so I don't scuff this sucker up with the C-clamp, because I ain't got a vise set up yet. And we're going to torque her back down how I took her off, and I'll show you how it goes on. So here's what I was talking about. She's in there good. And I'm using my breaker bar that I took them off with just to make sure they're snug. Got my little hot mitt, hot pad or air, just to make sure I don't scuff my new rip saw. I'm giving her a good couple daddy Yankees, you know, make sure she's snug. She's gonna move. Just doing it like a lug pattern on a 4-bolt car. Trying to get up here in the throat, not snap this Allen. And let that move and bottom itself out. There we go. So the most problem I'm seeing right now is that Loctite's on. So if you guys maybe had heated up with a torch, put some penetrator on it of some sort, it might bust off a little bit easier than me. Alright guys, so here it is, assembled. Biggest pointer I can give you is sitting on the bench. It's going to be facing backwards towards you. So you got to remember how it's assembled is this way. So you're going to put the rotor on backwards because it does not face this way. It faces this way. So you're going to go ahead and put this sucker fish on. She's splined. And it's a little bit harder with one hand. There it goes. Slide her in. You can feel it seat the axle hub. Got a paper towel here. Gonna wipe off my greasy little hands off of this. You're gonna put the wheel hub on right afterwards. I don't know if it matters, but there it goes. Bam. Then you're gonna put your washer calcium nut back on. And these are separated, as you can see. They're not one piece. I'm going to screw that back on. If you guys want to, you could go ahead and jack it up, rotate it, see if anything's weird. I would torque this down with all the four wheels back down on the ground. I don't have a torque wrench. I don't know the foot pounds. I'm going to give her 2 Ooga Loogas, like I gave her 2 Ooga Loogas to get her off. Look at that. Well worth it. I don't have to give you an explanation, I don't feel like, on how to put the brake caliper back on and or change the brake pads up here. Where the hell are they? Oh, they fell down. There they are. So I'm going to put the brake pads on before I go ahead and button her up. But as you can see, here's the old rotor. She's definitely got grooveds in it. So she's grooved like that. You know, you got some wear going on. My pads did not look good. So I just go ahead and put this calcium nut cover back on. And then reapply the wheel and tire assembly. Deck her on there pretty good. And I make sure after about, you know, a couple miles of, you know, semi-rough riding, I'll just take her down the street a couple times and I'll go ahead and give her a couple more decks. That's got 100 foot-pounds of torque, that little M12 does, so I feel like that's justification on putting it on. It's pretty easy, honestly, guys. It's just a little daunting at first when you're trying to see how it's set up, but you don't have to give me a like. I'm not going to demand you give me a like. I just hope you guys can keep on shredding and keep these old machines live. I know there's not a lot of things on them. I've seen them. They must be pretty reliable because no one's really working on them. It's mostly just how to change your brake pads, which you can find anywhere else. I'm not going to do a video on how to change your brake pads out. C-clamp, push a piston back, put the new pads in, etc. It's not a difficult thing, but hope you guys can get on ripping again and not hearing your brake drag and smelling your brake burning on up. Have a good one, guys.